And welcome back to the hour of the time, dear listeners. I meant to apologize earlier in the program for the rusty raspiness of my voice, folks, but once again, I lost it for a while, and it's a good thing that we've been playing the reruns from WRNO because I could not have done a show until now anyway. Folks, I know that an awful lot of you have not yet called Swiss America Trading. Now, I know also that you look forward to this show every night, Monday through Friday, all around the world. I'm not just talking to Americans. I'm talking to every freedom-loving individual who lives on the face of this planet. And I hope you all understand why I concentrate on the preservation of the Constitution of the United States of America. But for those of you who don't understand that yet, it's because it's the only document ever written, penned by the hand and the mind of men in the history of the world that has ever set man free on the face of this earth. No one ever existed in freedom before that document was written except kings, queens, sultans, emirs, and emperors. And of course those behind the emperor, the king, queen, sultan, or emir, the priest class, are the adepts of the mystery schools who really control things from the shadows. And those of you who have been listening to this show for a long time know that. Now, if you've learned all of this from this program, if you look forward to hearing the hour of the time, then you've got to support this program, and you've got to support our advertisers. Everywhere I go, every place I speak, many of you come up to me and ask me, how, Bill, can I protect my assets? We all know that there's nothing behind this phony baloney money. We know it's fiat. We know it's counterfeit. We know that it all has to come tumbling down. Now, how can I save what I've worked for all my life? How can I protect my family? Well, the answer has been in front of your nose all the time, folks. We've done a concerted, intense study into all the bad periods in the history of the world to see what it was that protected people the most during those periods. And in every single instance throughout the history of the world, we found that it's only been a very few things. One is land. If you're allowed to own land, we know in the encroaching New World Order that property will not be allowed. Private property will be eliminated. Read the Communist Manifesto and realize that what's coming is rampant, total socialism. We know that number two has always been precious metals, usually throughout history in the form of gold and silver. Well, during this period of time, you have some other options also, one of them being platinum. Now, if this comes to pass, and I'm talking if now because nobody knows absolutely for certain, but we have predicted, we stand behind our prediction, that there's going to be a terrible economic trauma in our future. Now, there are indicators that tell us this. There are hard, cold facts that tell us this. Most of this we've revealed to you in past programs on the hour of the time, so I'm not going to go into that right now. But I will tell you this. I will tell you this, folks, that gold and silver throughout the history of the world has been the only real, consistent, and positive investment that anyone has ever been able to make that has literally protected anyone's assets, property, wealth, the sweat of their labor for many years. You see, folks, today with 1 ounce of gold, you can buy the exact same number of loaves of bread that you could have bought 100 years ago with that same 1 ounce of gold. Now, if you have this gold or silver in small denomination coins, the smallest denomination that you can find, as a matter of fact, they're recognized literally by anyone, anywhere in the world. Everyone knows what they are. Even a primitive tribesman in the jungles of Borneo can look at a gold or silver coin and know that it has intrinsic value, worth. Now, the only other thing that I can tell you absolutely has value, but the value of that will disappear with age, of course, is food and clothing. There are some things in the coming trauma that will have value, and you should take a look at those too. Things that people are addicted to, such as coffee, chocolate, candy. Things that people absolutely need, such as Tampax, toilet paper, toothpaste, toothbrushes. I hope you get my drift, folks. But for the main conduit, for the preservation of wealth, for the preservation of your assets, remember gold and silver, and call our sponsor right now, Swiss America Trading. Don't wait. Do it now. 1-800-289-2646. Talk to the experts. Talk to the experts at Swiss America Trading. Mention my name, William Cooper. Ask for the free newsletter on protecting your future. Ask for the free book written by Mr. Figge. They will send these to you. It doesn't cost you a thing. It's an 800 number. Even the phone call doesn't cost you anything. What you're going to get in return in the mail, folks, you're going to be glad that you made the call. You're going to get information. You're going to get a newsletter. You're going to get a book, a pamphlet written by Mr. Figge that's going to be chock full of information that you need to know to survive what's coming in our near future. So do it now. Don't procrastinate. Call 1-800-289-2646. That's 1-800-289-2646. And now let's get back to our regular program and our very special guest tonight, Mr. Jordan Maxwell. Jordan, can we talk about some of the symbols, the symbology that people are going to run into in their everyday life as they go about their business and maybe haven't even understood what these things mean?
Yes, as a matter of fact, as we were saying before, that the world around us is filled with emblems and symbols, and if you know how to read the symbols, you can tell where people are coming from. You can tell what organizations are coming from. For instance, in Washington, D.C., which is a very interesting place, you have the Washington Monument, which is, of course, the Egyptian obelisk. Now, the Egyptian obelisk is pointing, is of course the male phallic symbol, okay? And the male phallic in the Washington Monument is connected to something in the White House called the Oval Office. And when you understand the male phallic with the female Oval Office, you're talking about the coming of life, and that's the life of the nation. You have the Pentagon. The United States Pentagon comes from the five-pointed pentagram. If you take the arms off of a five-pointed star, which has been used in devil worship and satanic worship for thousands of years, if you understand, you take the arms off of a five-pointed star, the interior of the star is called a pentagon. And so we have a United States Pentagon, and of course the Pentagon is used by the Chrysler Corporation as their symbol, the Pentagon. Why? Because Chrysler was the company that was chosen to make the military hardware for the United States, and they had the contract, so that's why they still use the Pentagon as their symbol. And on the back of the dollar bill, of course, we don't want to forget that, because the dollar bill is crammed filled with symbols. And Roosevelt, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, said that the reason why it was all these symbols were put on a $1 bill is because he figured that all over the world, people, no matter how poor you were, you would have in your hand the almighty dollar. And if you have in your hand the $1 bill, then you have in your hand all of the symbolism of the secret societies and the occult orders. Of course, on the left-hand side of the back of the dollar bill, you have the pyramid. Now, you've got to ask yourself, why would you have an Egyptian pyramid on an American dollar bill? And then you will see the letters Annuit Coeptus over the top of the pyramid. Annuit Coeptus in Latin means our enterprise is now a success. Our God has favored our enterprise. The enterprise, of course, is on the banner beneath the pyramid, which is Novus Ordo Seclorum, which is the new order of the world, new order of seclorum, and that's where we get the word secular, anything that's worldly. So now we're talking about a new world order on the bottom of the pyramid. You will find that the pyramid has 13 layers,